Picture this. You are the most powerful man on earth. Legions obey your command. Senators bow to your words. Entire nations tremble at your armies. And yet, inside your head, there is chaos. The world wants a godlike emperor, but you know the truth. You're still human. You wake up tired. You feel temptation. You feel anger when people disrespect you. You worry about death, disease, betrayal. You have to hold it all together because billions of lives depend on you. This was Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who ruled from 161 to 180 AD. But here, that's why we re-talking about him today, while most rulers in history got drunk on power, drowned in luxury, and collapsed in paranoia, Marcus spent his nights writing secret notes to himself, not decrees for the empire, not love letters, not propaganda notes for his own mind. Pep talks for himself, reminders to stay calm, rational, humble, and kind. 2,000 years later, those notes survived, collected in a book we now call Meditations. And inside this book are the Stoic secrets that allowed Marcus Aurelius to conquer the only empire that mattered more than Rome, his own mind. So today, let's dive in. How did Marcus actually do it? How did he manage anger, fear, ego, and pain while ruling the Roman world? And here's the hook: what can we steal from him so that in our own lives, when the boss emails at midnight, when the future feels uncertain, when our own emotions scream louder than reason, we too can command ourselves like an emperor? Let's unpack the Stoic playbook. Every time he felt overwhelmed, he reminded himself of time. He wrote, "You're going to die. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. So why waste energy on nonsense?" Now, don't panic, this isn't negative thinking. This is Stoicism's core strategy. Memento Mori, remember death. Why? Because when you remember time is limited, most of what stresses you loses its grip. That rude stranger, gone in a second. That colleague gossiping. Dust in the wind, that desire to prove yourself on social media. Pointless when you realize eternity won't care. Marcus was literally the emperor, head of armies, ruler of half the known planet. If anyone could justify being arrogant, it was him. But he constantly told himself, even Alexander the Great is dead. Even Julius Caesar is gone. In a few years, I will also be gone. So what matters now is living well, justly, calmly, and reasonably. Imagine if we lived like that every day, commuting in traffic, and instead of screaming at the car in front, we think, okay, both of us will be skeletons one day. Second, Marcus mastered anger. And if you've ever had that coworker who tests your patience, you'll relate. He wrote entire passages reminding himself, the people around you will be meddling. Ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, surly. Basically, a Monday morning in any office. But then he added, they can't help it. They don't know better. They act according to their understanding. Your job is not to hate them, but to teach yourself patience. And here's the genius part. Marcus didn't just say, don't get angry. He reframed it. He asked, is anger even useful? If getting mad won't solve the problem, it's wasted energy. Better to channel that energy into action. Imagine if instead of blowing up at customer service, you calmly explained the issue and fixed it. Or instead of lashing out at someone online, you used that second to focus on your own craft. That's Marcus's formula. Replace outrage with rational action. Third, Marcus conquered desire. You'd think emperors lived in orgies of pleasure. And yes, many did. But Marcus, he constantly trained himself to see pleasure for what it was. Temporary sugar highs that weaken discipline. He wrote about food, reminding himself that meat is just animal flesh. Wine is old grapes. Fancy clothes are dyed threads. Why glamorize them? By stripping pleasure of its illusions, he pulled its teeth. And in today's world, think about how much of our unhappiness is chasing illusions. The latest phone, the trendy shoes, the luxury car ad telling us we'll be complete if we buy it. Marcus's Stoic secret here is brutal honesty. Call things what they are, not what the marketing says. The phone is glass and metal. The shoes are rubber and fabric. The luxury car, really, just a box of steel with wheels. Once you see through the illusion, you're immune. Fourth, Marcus handled suffering like a warrior philosopher. Picture this. Barbarian invasions raging on Rome's borders, the Antonine Plague, killing millions including his own children. Imagine balancing that as emperor. Yet, instead of collapsing, he repeated this Stoic truth. You can't control what happens to you. You can only control your response. That's the heart of resilience. You don't get to pick every event, but you always get to pick your reaction. It's like the ultimate mental freedom. Someone insults you, you can't control their words, but you can control whether you bite back or smile. You lose a job, you can't change the layoff, but you can decide to learn, adapt, and pivot. Marcus drilled this truth into himself daily because he knew the world would keep throwing chaos at him. And our modern world, emails, layoffs, breakups, health scares, chaos, chaos, chaos. The freedom is in response, not in events. Another secret in Marcus's arsenal: humility. This is insane when you consider, again, he was the emperor, absolute ruler. One command and armies march, but every night he'd remind himself, I am just a human, part of nature, subject to decay. He even wrote that if you ever start thinking you're special, remember, you're made of the same blood and bones as everyone else. You'll rot like everyone else. Talk about a reality check. Why did he emphasize humility? Because it shields you from ego poisoning your mind. Ego makes you overreact. Ego makes you chase validation. Ego makes you fragile. Humility makes you free. When you're rooted in reality, good or bad reviews don't shake you. Compliments don't distort you. Insults don't destroy you. You become steady. And that steadiness is exactly what let Marcus rule calmly while others in his position went insane. Now, here's another powerful Stoic secret Marcus embodied living in the present moment. He wrote, You only live right now. The past is already dead. The future is uncertain. Stay with the present. Crazy part, the man was emperor. He had to plan campaigns, economic policies, alliances. He knew the value of planning, but he never let himself get trapped in worrying. Plan, prepare, then return to this moment. This is why Marcus never collapsed under pressure. He didn't live in 3 timelines at once. He trained his mind to focus on the task at hand. Writing right now, deciding right now, walking right now, simple. And isn't that what most of us miss? We spend mornings thinking about tomorrow's meeting, evenings regretting yesterday's mistakes, and miss the actual day in front of us. Marcus hacked that. Stay here, now. Imagine zooming out until Earth looks tiny. Rome shrinks to nothing. Your problems become microscopic. He used this as therapy whenever politics, betrayals, or stress swallowed him. He visualized himself in the universe. Galaxies swirling, generations disappearing. Suddenly, the insult of a senator or the loss of a negotiation, small. This cosmic perspective dissolved pettiness. And today, when your coworker annoys you or someone trolls you online, try Marcus's telescope trick. Zoom out. Will this matter in 10 years? 20? Against the stars? Against the fact you will die in a century? No. Your life shrinks ego and magnifies perspective. Now, here's the paradox. Marcus Aurelius wasn't some enlightened angel. He wasn't perfect. He had flaws, doubts, struggles. He wrote down his Stoic reminders precisely because he needed them. He wasn't writing for us. He was journaling for himself. He was holding himself accountable. That's the beauty. Rome's emperor was just another human trying not to lose his temper, not to drown in stress, not to forget what truly mattered. And that makes Stoicism real, not abstract philosophy. So, how do we use this? Don't just admire Marcus like a statue in a museum. Do what he did, right? Tell yourself the truths you forget. Remind yourself of mortality to cut through nonsense. Reframe anger into rational action. Strip pleasures of illusion. Choose your response to events. Stay humble, zoom out, live present. These are practices, not theories. It's like daily mental push-ups. Imagine this. You start tomorrow morning, and instead of immediately reaching for your phone, you grab a notebook. You scribble one Stoic note. Whatever this day throws at me, I will choose to respond, not react. I will remember life is short. I will stay steady. Now suddenly, through the traffic, emails, arguments, you're not drifting like everyone else. You're steering, like Marcus did, through storms. Marcus Aurelius conquered his empire. Yes, but his greatest victory wasn't defeating barbarians or managing politics. It was the empire between his ears. The mind that could have crumbled under fear and ego, but instead became a fortress of calm. And that is what makes his Stoic secrets still glow across 2,000 years.